Well, hello again, everybody. Today I'm talking about structs in C. A struct is a custom container. It holds multiple pieces of related information. They're very similar to objects in other programming languages. It's basically C's version of object-oriented programming. Here's a demonstration of structs. Outside of the main function, we're going to define a struct. We'll type struct, then a tag name. We'll create a struct of student, curly braces, then a semicolon at the end. Student is the tag name. It's kind of like a data type. Think of a struct like a blueprint. We're designing what all students are going to have. We'll say in this example that all students will have a character array of name. Char name, it's an array. I'll set the size to be 50 characters long. These are members. We're saying that all students that we create will have a variable of name, but we're not going to be assigning them. We'll do so within the main function. What else should students have? They should have an int of age. How old are they? A float of GPA for their grade point average. Let's also add a member to see if a student is full-time or not. We'll be working with booleans. We'll need to include this header file. Include stdbool.h. Let's add a boolean member of is full-time. Are they a full-time student? All right, and that's a struct. It's very similar to object-oriented programming in other languages. Now let's create a struct of student. We're going to do so within the main function. We need that struct keyword, struct, the tag name, think of it like the data type, student, then a variable name. We'll just say student1 equals, we're going to assign all these values. That's if you want to initialize them right away. Kind of like an array. The first element will be a name. I'll just pick SpongeBob. Then an age. We'll say SpongeBob is 30. Then a GPA. SpongeBob's GPA will be 2.5. Is SpongeBob a full-time student? That's true. He goes to boarding school. We have a struct of student1. To cut down on some of the repetition, you could use the typedef keyword when defining a struct. If we were to proceed struct with typedef, we can move the tag name to the end. Anytime we use this data type of student, we don't also need to say struct. That will cut down on some of the repetition going forward. Let's print some of student1's members. Name, age, GPA, and is full-time. I'll print the following. Printf. Let's start with a string, a new line, take the name of your student, in this case student1. To access a member of a struct, you use dot. The dot is the member access operator. If you would like to access a member within a struct, you follow the name of the struct with the dot. We'll access the name member of student1 and print it. That's going to output the name of SpongeBob. Then let's get the age. Let's do some copying and pasting. We're displaying an integer. We need a format specifier of %d student1.age. And the age of SpongeBob is 30. Let's get the GPA. Student1.gpa, and this is a floating point number. Student1.gpa. SpongeBob's GPA is 2.5, and you can format the output if you would like. Actually, let's do that. We'll display 2 digits after the decimal. That looks a lot better. SpongeBob's GPA is 2.50. Is SpongeBob a full-time student? There's a couple different ways that we can do this. I'm going to print a decimal to begin with. We'll display student1.is full-time. If you display a Boolean variable as an integer, it will be 0 or 1. SpongeBob is a full-time student, that's 1. But if this were false, then we're going to output 0. We could use this with the ternary operator. Let's display a string, %s. Does this condition evaluate to be true? We'll use the ternary operator. Question mark, is that true? If so, return yes. If SpongeBob is a full-time student, otherwise return no. SpongeBob is not currently a full-time student. We set that to be false. That is no. If we set this value to be true, well then, SpongeBob is a full-time student. All right, let's create a few more structs. We can follow a similar formula. We type the data type, student, student2, equals, then we can add a new set of values. Let's say Patrick for the name. Patrick will be 36. Patrick's GPA is only 1.0. Patrick is not a full-time student. He watches a lot of TV. Let's display some of student 2's members. Student2.name, student2.age, student2.gpa, student2.isfulltime. And here's the output. We have Patrick. Patrick is 36. Patrick's GPA is 1.0. Patrick is not a full-time student. We're outputting no. Let's create another. Student 3. Student 3 will be Squidward. Squidward seems like he's about 48 or so. Squidward has a GPA of 3.2. Student3.name, student3.age, student3.gpa, student3.isfulltime. And we have Squidward, 48, 3.2 GPA, not a full-time student. Now here's something to consider. What if we create a struct, but don't assign it any values? Student, student4, and we're just going to declare it, but not assign any values. What if we were to access these members of this struct? Here's what happens. Well, we get undefined behavior. When we declare a struct, we're using up some blocks in memory, but we've never cleared out what's in those memory blocks from a previous program. This is some leftover data from a different program, whatever used that memory last. If we declare a struct, we should clear out all that memory. We can say student4 equals, then within a set of curly braces, set all the values to 0 to reset it. And there we go. And all the values are effectively 0. It's all cleared out. If you declare a struct, but would like to assign values later, here's how. We will manually assign all of the members of student 4 after we've initialized it. To assign the name, since it's a string, an array of characters, this is one function that we can use. String copy, strcpy, parentheses. We'll assign student 4's name member, student4.name. We'll assign it Sandy. Then let's output it. We do need to include the following import, because I forgot to do that. String.h to work with string functions. There we go. Student 4's name is Sandy. You can also use string ncopy to safely copy a certain amount of characters. You could say 5, since Sandy's name is 5 characters long. But I haven't talked about string functions yet. Let's assign student 4's age. We'll take the name of the struct, student4.age. Set it equal to, Sandy seems like she's about 27 or so. And then we'll output her age. Name is Sandy, age is 27. Let's assign her GPA, student4.gpa. She has a perfect 4.0. Because she's smart, she's a scientist. Sandy's GPA is a 4.0. And we'll say that she's a student. Student4.is full-time. She is a full-time student. Sandy is a full-time student. That's true, and we're outputting yes. That's how we can assign various members of a struct after we've initialized it. What you could do as well is that you can pass a struct to a function. We're going to change this program around. We'll create a function that will display the info of every student that we pass to the function. Here's how we can do that. After our main function, we will declare another function. The return type is void. We're not returning anything. Let's name this function print student. We have one parameter to set up. We're passing in structs. The struct has a data type of student. Student is the data type. Then we need a name for this parameter. Let's rename any student that we pass in just as student. Let's cut our printf statements and then paste them within the print student function. We're printing student's name, student's age, student's GPA, and student.isFullTime. Then afterwards, I'm just going to add another printf statement, and we'll just print a new line character, just to keep them all separated. Oh, and then we do need to add a function prototype. So copy the return type, the name of the function, and the parameters. After our struct, but before the main function, paste that function prototype. There we go. We're going to call our function of print student, and then pass in our first student, student1. Here we go. We have SpongeBob 30 2.5. Full time is set to yes. Then let's print student2. We'll pass in student2. Here now we have Patrick's data. Patrick 36 1.0 no. We'll do this with both Squidward and Sandy, student 3 and student 4. Student 3, student 4. Here's Squidward's data, and here's Sandy's data. And then let's change the output a little bit. I'll format the output slightly. We'll say name, colon space, age, colon space, GPA, colon space, then full dash time, colon space. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, everybody, those are structs. Structs are custom containers that hold multiple pieces of related information. It's very similar to object-oriented programming in other languages. And well, everybody, those are structs in C.